Tonight, towards the end of the game, I watched Luka Modric run for a ball. He almost got there. That is his story. Almost there. And yet, what a story it was. 6 years old, his grandfather murdered. His home burned to the ground. Landmines where he used to play. A hotel parking lot became his football pitch. Sometimes no running water. Sometimes no electricity. The sound of artillery daily. A war could take everything from a boy, but it could not take the ball from his feet. At 10 years old, he wrote about it for a school assignment. It resurfaced decades later, after he had conquered the world. He wrote, "Even though I'm still little, I have experienced a lot of fear in my life. Everyone cried. I used to ask if those people who did this can even be called people." A 10-year-old boy writing about war, about loss, about displacement, and growing up to become the greatest midfielder the world has ever seen. And do you know what the first thing he bought with his first professional paycheck was? A house for his mother and father. So they could finally, after 7 years in a refugee hotel, have a home again. Nobody knew Croatia. Nobody put them on a list of favorites. Nobody feared them. And yet, he became the face of a generation that carried a nation of 4 million people to places they had no right to be. 2018 World Cup final. They defeated Argentina on the way. 2022 semi-final. They defeated Brazil. Tonight on the same pitch as Bruno Fernandes, Vitinha, João Neves. 2 back-to-back Champions League winners between them. One playing the season of his life. At 40 years old, he was still dictating the game. Still the standard. Still the one everyone watched. What more proof does the world need? In the 103rd minute, Croatia scored. They erupted, they celebrated, they poured everything out. And then, VAR offside. Almost there. That is Luka Modric's career in one moment. But here is what I'll never forget. In those brief seconds when they thought they had scored, he smiled. A smile with no ego, no arrogance. Just pure childlike joy. And I think he needed that smile. We needed that smile. Because what came next? The final whistle. And the end of everything. Today, July 3rd, 2026, is the first death anniversary of Diogo Jota. 1 year ago, around these hours, he and his brother were gone. Tonight, Portugal carried his memory onto that pitch. Some victories become bigger than football. 200 international appearances, only Messi, only Ronaldo, only Modric. Iniesta, Xavi had their World Cup. Pirlo had his World Cup. Cruz had his World Cup. The greatest midfielders of their generations all got their flowers. Modric, almost there. But at his Real Madrid farewell, this is what he said. Don't cry because it ended. Smile because it happened.